Hello, Florence. It is Culture Vulture time today.
Hi, Bettina.
Hello. We talk about something today that's really interesting for everyone, because actually everyone will experience it in one way or the other. It's not that you as a black person only experience it, I as a white person experience it. It depends on whoever looks at us, right? And it is an expression that I really find interesting. And that term is cross-race effect. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes it's also called cross-race bias, mm-hmm. or other race bias, or even own race bias. Because what happens is it describes the tendency to better recognize faces of one's own culture, or a culture that's really close or familiar, in comparison to individuals of other groups. So let's say me as a European, let's say broadly European person, I gloss over to the other end of the world. And I don't actually want to bring a concrete example because I do not want to offend anyone. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But just imagine a culture that is so different from your own, everyone who's watching now, and of course you as well, Florence, a culture that is so different that people are looking completely different than you do. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So maybe as different as Florence and I are, we're very different. And then imagine that from one specific culture, you don't make so much difference for the individual traits in faces. You look at the, first glance characteristic, and that might be the skin color or the form of the eyes, but not the details, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. Not the form of the nose, the form of the mouth. And then, our brain takes that shortcut, and for ourselves, all people of that culture look more or less the same, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right?
But so, that reminds me of an experience I had when I was a kid. And when you say we recognize the people that come from our culture more or better than other cultures, then I think it has nothing to do with if the people are from the same origin. I guess it has something to do with where we were brought up or where we live.
Because absolutely, yeah.
When I went to Nigeria, when I was nearly 9 years old, and I went to Nigeria, and in Lagos, all the people for me looked all the same.
Yeah.
So when there was one person today and I saw another person the next day, I thought it's the same person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, they looked all the same. And why? Because I was brought up till then in a 100% white community. Of mm-hmm. course, I saw my parents, but then I was only surrounded by white people. Mm-hmm. So these people I could differentiate and say this is this person and that is that person. But in Nigeria or in Lagos specifically, I didn't recognize the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess that's a reference thing, no?
Yeah.
Your reference were white people. So
that's
your patterns were in connection, in relation to white people. And then you had to discover that other part of you with the distinction in specific different people. Mm-hmm. I find that quite interesting. So I think the more we are exposed to and interact with then other cultures and other ethnic groups, so to speak, the more likely we are to improve also our cross-racial perceptions. Mm-hmm. Then we do make the difference between two other Black people in your case then.
Yeah. So after a while, then I could recognize the people and I could see the differences. But mm-hmm. At the beginning, it was just so that I saw Black people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, I traveled a lot in my life, and I also traveled to another part of the world. And the first days, it was the same. I only saw that people. Yeah. And then after a while, I could recognize that, okay, that lady was the one from last week, and the lady yesterday is a different person. Yeah. But because I think we have a kind of filter, and the filter is not very detailed. Yeah. It's just a filter, woman, man, nose, eyes, is everything there. So, and then after a while, the filter is more detailed and more specific, and then we can, we see the distinction between the people and the differences between the people.
But that's the beauty of it. If we let go of those filters, if we discover more and more about other ethnic groups, then we do not only see those patterns, but we also see the people. And the more we see faces, really, human beings, instead of just one ethnic group. And we don't use those shortcuts anymore.
Yeah.
So our question to everyone out there listening to this episode here, where have you experienced it? Is that something that rings a bell? Is that something that's familiar to you? And if so, then look it up, educate yourself a little bit more. It's called cross-race effect, and it's really interesting because it is just the way our brains work. So I guess we leave everyone. I don't know if you want to add something more, Florence.
Fine. No, we are fine here. That's good.
But then let's leave everyone with that thought and with that knowledge why things like this happen, and that it's not something bad. It's something very natural, because our brains are just so smart. They want to take that shortcut, but our brains are also smart enough to learn and then open ourselves up to more details and see the real humans behind the patterns.
That's so. So thank you very much for this topic, and thank you very much for asking again.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Florence, and see you again soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.